The new Tub video. Yeah, someone told me it's about the most evil musicians, and he left out Ian Watkins, which is interesting. I'm imagining he did that because it's been covered a lot now, would be my guess. So he's probably looking for other ones that most people don't know.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today
I'll check him out.
I'll
see what musicians made the cut.
Crimes. There is in fact no Danny DeVito in the back. Not forever. Just for this video and maybe the next one. But yeah, we got a Christmas tree. Woo, festive. Also, my album Ear Candy comes out next month. We're getting closer. We're getting closer.
Mob Psycho's
finally
great.
going to give you guys a package. You guys don't have to listen to Cherry Soda
conclusion.
on repeat anymore. But yeah, like I've said before, there will be an Ear Candy album movie here on this channel. It will premiere live. And the album cover is officially released. Drum roll, please.
Thanks, Prime Princess.
The album cover is actually on my Instagram. I'm not going to show it in this video. We're almost at 100,000 on Instagram. So that'd be amazing if you guys could go follow it. And also in news of the channel, we actually hit 100 million views.
Thanks, it's Tier 1 Looter.
Give it up for us, man. We did that. 100 million views in total on this Tub channel. Thank you guys so much. That's a lot of people looking at me, judging me behind the screen. I know you judge me behind the screen. Do you guys remember my hard drive video that I released like I think 2 or 3 weeks ago? Well, I got limited ads. Boom. I'm not going to make a big deal out of that, but I will say a big thank you to today's sponsor. A lot of my videos just get straight limited ads.
Do I check the NORAD Santa tracker?
Thankful for companies that want to sponsor the channel. And today's sponsor is Casetify. Casetify is the world's most popular tech accessory brand, known for their protective phone cases made from 65% recycled
No, it's about
materials
evil musicians, so it's going to be their crimes, not their shitty music.
Individual style.
Well, I don't even know if all the
Casetify
music is shitty. I think I saw Johnny
types that
Johnny
offer
Cash
high
on
levels
here,
of
but I don't wanna
protection,
spoil it.
style, and sleekness. The Bounce case offers world-class protection with Casetify's EcoShock impact absorption technology. These cases are test-dropped 156 times to ensure they can handle everything life has to offer.
I don't skip
the clear
the
case offers a sleek look for your devices with its clear back and slim form factor, providing you with a low profile. Unlike other cheaper TPU cases, Casetify's clear cases are optimized to prevent yellowing. The Impact series is a great combination of the two, offering a slimmer profile than the Bounce case, but still being tested from drops of 11.5 feet. Casetify has also recently launched their artist program, where they partnered with exclusive artists to offer more than 2,000 prints to choose from for your case. You can express yourself however you want to.
Didn't we watch this?
They also
No,
have
he
these
just posted
accessories
this.
that you can attach to your phone.
I just made
Casetify
a
was nice enough to
video
send some
on
cases out
the
to me, and I've been
most
using them for a
evil
while now.
musician
I genuinely
ever,
love this brand, and it
Ian
actually has
Watkins.
saved my phone a couple times. Make sure to go
So
to
it's just a similar topic.
casetify.com/tub today to get 15% off your order. Thanks again to Casetify for sponsoring this video. Alright, now let's get started with the video. Sid Vicious. John Simon Ritchie, better known by his stage name Sid Vicious, was an English musician, best known as the bassist for punk rock band Sex Pistols. Despite dying in 1979 at age 21, he remains an icon to some of the punk subculture. To say John had a troubled childhood would be an understatement. He was raised by a single mother who sold marijuana to get by. She later remarried and John now had a stepdad, but sadly, that man passed away 6 months later due to kidney failure. By the time John was 15, his mother's life was consumed by a heroin and opiate addiction, causing him to feel lonelier than ever. While attending Kingsway College of Further Education, which was a school for students with difficulties, John admitted to a counselor that he had thoughts of and that he would torture and kill cats in his free time. That same year, Ritchie met fellow Kingsway student John Ladon, who introduced him to his friends John Gray and John Wardle. All four, who became known locally as the Four Johns, quit school and began squatting in various dismal locations. 3 of the 4 Johns would then take nicknames. Liddon gave Ritchie the nickname Sid Vicious after Ritchie was bitten by Liddon's hamster, Sid. 2 years later in 1975, Glenn Matlock and Paul Cook joined the band, now rebranded to Sex Pistols. Though Ritchie still wasn't a part of the band, it wasn't until 1977 that tensions started rising between member Matlock and their manager Malcolm McLaren, which led to Matlock being kicked from their band for, quote, liking the Beatles. The work environment was pretty toxic, with Matlock revealing that their manager purposely made them pick fights with each other because he thought generating chaos between the band was a creative mechanism. Anyway, this is when John Ritchie, aka Sid Vicious, would finally join Sex Pistols and become their new bassist. Just a year later, on October 11th, 1978, Sid and his then girlfriend, Nancy Spungen, hosted a party in their hotel room, during which Vicious took approximately 30 Tuinal tablets, and while many people came and went, he was comatose for the rest of the night. At about 11 a.m. the next morning, hotel staff found Spungen dead on the bathroom floor, with a knife wound in her abdomen. Vicious was found wandering the hallway. He first claimed to have killed her, then said he remembered nothing. 2 people who had been at the party stated that Nancy was alive at 5 a.m. The murder weapon was identified as a Jaguar K11 hunting knife, which Nancy had purchased purchased for Sid a few days earlier. Vicious was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. He told police that he and Nancy had argued that night, but gave conflicting versions of what happened next, saying, "I stabbed her, but I never meant to kill her," then saying that he didn't remember anything. Then after that, saying that Spungen had fallen onto the knife. Later,
Yeah, this kind of shit happened. Like, he mentioned the torturing and killing cats. That's where it always starts for a murderer, or I guess like a full blown like psychopath fucking maniac. That is like the number one sign that someone will end up doing that to a real person. Torturing, killing animals. That is just the most common thread. I think the second that gets mentioned, they need to take that very seriously and monitor the person. There needs to be some very serious repercussions for that shit. That is just like the most cited correlation ever. Like an early sign of someone who will likely be a murderer. Makes no sense why it's still not taken super seriously. A lack of respect for life. I think it's still just that notion that, oh, it's just an animal. That's a huge distinction. He's just doing it to cats right now. He'll never graduate and do that to people, surely. But I mean, there's tons and tons and tons of killers. All, and very many of them, I have no problem being open that it started when they were kids with torturing and killing animals. I just don't know like how much more evidence they need of that being a telltale sign. Thanks, Resub Kumquat and Baby Whale.
The arresting officer
Prime.
was quoted as having said, after an
IDT
investigation,
and Minor
Vicious
and
admitted
Resub
killing
Mario
Miss
and Hawk
Spungen
and
during
Tier
a
1
dispute,
Connor.
though the situation was a bit hard to get out of because Richie admitted to stabbing her. His manager, his mother, and his label were able to get a top-tier lawyer which arranged for Richie to be released on a $50,000 bail, with conditions that he wouldn't leave New York and that he'd sign in daily at the 3rd Homicide Unit offices. All legal costs were covered by Virgin Records. Just 2 months later, Richie found himself in another case when he was flirting with Todd Smith's girlfriend. No, not that Todd Smith, but he was flirting with a man's girlfriend, and when Smith told him to back off, well, Richie broke a beer bottle and jammed it into his face, leading to Smith getting 5 stitches and Richie being arrested and charged with assault. In January 1979, Richie would be released on a $10,000 bail. In the morning of February 1st, 1979, after completing his detoxification program, Richie was released from Rikers Island Jail. When he arrived in Manhattan, he met his friend Peter Gravel. Vicious asked Gravel to find him some heroin, and Gravel brought $200 worth of the drug to the apartment. Gravel said that they sat around doing drugs and he left at 3 a.m. when the hard drug use began. He noted that Vicious was already nodding off, but he also said that Robinson, which was another friend of theirs, gave Vicious 4 Quaaludes to help him sleep. Vicious died that night of a drug overdose. Deborah Spungen, who is Nancy's mother, claimed that Vicious wrote a letter to her when he was hospitalized saying, "We always knew that we would go to the same place when we died. We so much wanted to die together in each other's arms. I cry every time I think about that. I promised my baby I would kill myself if anything ever happened to her, and she promised me the same. This is my final commitment to my love." No one's ever gonna know if Richie actually overdosed on purpose to meet Nancy again, or if he genuinely accidentally overdosed. Chuck Berry. Charles Edward Anderson Berry was an American singer, songwriter, and guitarist who pioneered rock and roll. Nicknamed the father of rock and roll, he refined and developed rhythm and blues into major elements that made rock and roll distinctive with songs such as Maybelline, Roll Over Beethoven, Rock and Roll Music, and Johnny B. Good, which was featured on the classic Back to the Future. Writing lyrics that
I'll be honest, the
teen
main
life
thing I
and
know Chuck Berry
consumerism.
for is that performance with John Lennon where Yoko starts banging a drum and making outrageous noises into a mic and he looks extremely shocked and uncomfortable. That's like the most I know about Chuck Berry. And then I also know the Bill Burr segment on that interaction. Iconic clip though. It goes on for like 3 minutes. What? The Yoko Ono screaming? No. That went on for only like... probably only like 30, 45 seconds before they cut her mic. But it's enough to be traumatizing to listen to. Show the clip? I highly doubt I can show that clip on Twitch. That would get my shit DMCA'd so quick. Chuck Berry and John Lennon? Are you serious? And Yoko Ono? Well, Yoko Ono doesn't even know what the internet is. Yoko Ono still does that shtick. She's lived her whole life around this idea that people like to hear her make goofy noises. I will never forget that, I think it was 2016, 2015. She went to like an art museum and had her own exhibit where she just grabs a mic and goes, for like 5 minutes. Yoko doesn't know what the fuck the internet is. Thanks to Tier 1 Travis and the resub Dish, Axel, and the Prime Toad. Ugh, God, Jesus. Thanks to the resub Void. Hope you're doing well. Merry Christmas. Oh, I'm so tired of this fucking PC crashing. Oh, it's getting so frustrating. Oh, now the border's all fucked up again. Oh, goddamn. Thank you for the 10 gift subs, Morgoth. Appreciate it, Morgoth. Thanks to resub Wolf. Thanks to resub Brew. What? No, this is an old Artesian I'm still on. I've just been riding it out. I don't know why, though. It's hard to get past that mental block where I only get something new if the previous thing I was using actually is non-functioning. That's just how I've always been. But this is borderline non-functioning. There's the thing about not wanting to waste stuff. I don't even know where it really started, man. I couldn't tell you. Because it's not like it'd be a waste. This old computer still works, albeit with crashes pretty often, but like it's not unusable. So even if I do just finally upgrade, I could just put this one like at the warehouse as like a last resort kind of computer. So it wouldn't even be like waste. I don't know what it is though. It's just like this little mental barrier where it's me just not feeling ready to upgrade. I don't know. These are resub Iris and Clay. Okay, that's good enough. Alright. I'm gonna chalk that one up to Yoko Ono cursed my PC for a crash there.